Okay, we are now on Ledger Lesson 2, and in the previous lesson we dealt with using the Ledger in Google Sheets. On this lesson we're going to deal with using the Ledger in OpenOffice. Actually, I prefer OpenOffice to Google Sheets because I find it's a little more like Excel, which is the native file type for the Ledger. So another reason that I like OpenOffice is that it's really pretty simple to use. The interface is almost identical to Excel, and it can easily open and save Excel files. So with no further ado, I'm going to go here to the OpenOffice shortcut and double click that. It opens up, and you can see right here that it gives me options for text, document, spreadsheet, presentation, drawing, database, formula, and templates. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to open a file. So I'm just going to click on that, and it's already set up for all files. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the folder where the actual spreadsheet is located. And so for that, I'm going to go to the desktop and scroll up till I see JS. And there it is right there. And you can see the Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, JS Ledger. So I'm going to just double click that. And you can see down here it's loading it up. And boom, there it is. So nice thing about this is it's almost identical in its appearance to the same Ledger in Excel. And as we discussed in our previous lessons, it's really pretty straightforward. You just put in the date and then enter in over in this portion the various activities that are done during that day on that particular project. And you can see down here, down these tabs down below here, I only have one right now, but I'm going to be adding one in a minute anyway, so stand by. So what I want to do is I'm going to go back into my Explorer here, and I want to look at the desktop here and go down to JS. And what I want to do is I want to open up just a photo of a partial hours sheet of mine, so I can show you how to install a new hours sheet, or I mean a new worksheet into the Ledger. So I'm going to just open this photo up right here, and I'm going to zoom up on it a little bit. So here I have different file names. So this one I'm going to look at B1202. So that's actually an existing file of mine, the project I have going, but I want to add that project to this Ledger. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the spreadsheet, and down here where you see all of these tabs down at the bottom down here, I'm just going to right click there and insert sheet. And so it doesn't matter because I can easily move it. I'll just put it after the current sheet and click OK. And you can see that it's essentially opened an additional sheet, just a blank sheet. It's calling it Sheet 8. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my template, and I'm going to select the whole thing just by clicking up in this corner here, and then I'm going to hit Control-C. That copies that template, that entire template for that worksheet, to the clipboard. Now I'm going to go here to what is Sheet 8, our brand new sheet here, and I'm going to click on that same spot and Control-V, which should put the whole thing in there. So now you can see that I've created a brand new worksheet. It's pristine. Right now it's called Sheet 8, but I'm going to right click on that and rename it, and the name is B1202, and click OK. And then you can see now that the name has been changed to B1202. So I'm just going to click somewhere and actually click right here, and because one of the things I want to do with this is actually freeze the panes, and I'll show you why in just momentarily. And probably the best way to show that is to go back to the previous worksheet, B1118. Click on that. and these are actually frozen along this dark line you see right here. So I can use my scroll button and scroll up and down, but it keeps all the column headings in. So that way I can still tell what columns are what, even though I may have a great deal of information on that particular worksheet. So these things get kind of long over time. So anyway, back to B1202, and so what I want to do in order to freeze that is I'm just going to click on the row below where I want the freeze line to be, and I go up to Window, click on that, and then just click on Freeze. And you can see it kind of darkened right then. If I click somewhere now, you can see that we have a darker line along there, and I can use my scroll button to scroll up and down, and we still maintain our headings there. So I'm going to, I want to save this actually as an open office spreadsheet. So I'm going to click on File and Save As, and I want to save it in JS, and here you can see it automatically wants to save as file type of ODF or Open Office Spreadsheet. So I can go ahead and save now, and it now will have it'll be an Open Office sheet. So and you see it's actually changed its file extension up here from Excel's extension to an Open Office extension. So now I'm going to pull up my hour sheet, and I'm just going to enter in the information from B1202. So I had a 0.1 hours conversation with emailing the engineer. It falls usually under miscellaneous, and then I have looks like 0.4 hour total for the floor plan. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on that, and the date on this spreadsheet is, if I can find it, is 6/29/18. So I'm just going to click here and put 6-29. It should automatically enter in the 18, and it already does. And since I'm just going to arrow on over, or I can use my mouse and just go all the way over to MS and hit 0.1 and hit enter, and you can see that it automatically entered in 0.1. Now the other thing I need to do is the rate. I haven't included my rate, and so I'm going to that's $60 on this one, it's $60 an hour. And for my client, I'm going to we'll call it, since it starts with a B, we'll call it, how about Baxter? Okay. So now, since I put it in the rate for that 0.1 hours, it's added $6 already. So I'm going to call up my hour sheet again, and I have 0.4. Let me see if I have any additional floor plan time. It does not look like I do. So let's see, here's a floor plan revision one here, 0.1, and up here I have 0.4 in the floor plan. So that'll be 0.5 total. So I'm going to click here. And I'm still it's on 6/29/18, so I have 0.5 in the floor plan, 0.5, hit tab, and then call it up and see. Then next I have details, 0.2, and see if I have any more detail work in there. I don't see it, so I'm clicking back here, and I'm going to go over to details, which is DT. And if you don't know what the column heading is, all you have to do is hold your cursor at the top, and it'll tell you what it is. So that was 0.2, I believe. 0.2, hit tab, and you can see that it keeps on totaling over here. So it's really pretty nice, pretty simple. I'm going to call up my photo again, and had 0.2 on that. Okay, so I've called client 0.1, and let's see, anything else, any other client contact. Client message 0.1, another 0.1. So that looks like a 0.2 for client communications. So 0.2 there. Just enter. You just enter them in as you go. And then coming down to see what else we have there for plan, client message. 0.2 for plotter time, and then elevations 0.2. So that gives me 0.2 for plotter time, which is basically printing, and then 0.2 on elevations, 0.2, and then I hit enter. And so I have 0.4 for that day. So that's basically all you do. Is this area over here is where you enter in your time amounts, and then it will automatically total the time in billable hours, and it will also, and just like in the last lesson, if you have any unbillable time, you just put it in here. If you have any additional charges, like for printing or something like that, you add that in there, and it'll still add to the daily total. The non-billable hours will not, of course. So then it also gives you total billable hours to date. So it keeps a running total of total billings, and this actually gives you the total billing. So this is a daily total of the amount. This is total hours billable for that day, and then our total billable hours as a running total, and this is total billings to date. So that's how that works. That's really how you do it. It's really pretty simple, and once it's saved, it's really easy to open back up, and you can just keep on going. And when you need to add additional lines, what you do is you just take and click on the bottom line and select all the cells that have anything. You just go over to stop all the way over here, and then you grab this see this little square down here. You just grab that, and you see the cursor changes to a little plus, and you just drag it on down. And you can see that it's creating and formatting additional areas, cells, to the same format as the cell that we used to drag down. So that concludes our next lesson, on lesson 2, on the ledger.